All right, lesson 20, estimating quotients of fractions. Okay, so you're gonna need to make sure you have the worksheet open and you're doing them together because we're working on the first few problems together. All right, so this is number 1A. What I want you to do is just estimate where 1/8 you think 1/8 would be on these two bars. And then I want you to estimate where you think 1/2 is gonna be on those two bars. Now I want you to take a ruler and figure out where those marks would actually be. Okay, so I am not going to do this for you, but I want you to now take the ruler, figure out where 1/2 is here and where 1/8 actually is here. And I want you to tell me which one, or I want you to state which one was more accurate, your guess. Okay, so now in this last bar, I want you to estimate where 1/2 would be, then where 1/4 would be, and then where 1/8 would be. Okay, and then you're going to predict whether this will be more accurate estimate than these ones, and why. Okay, so this last way of doing it, so estimating where 1/2 is about there, then I cut the other into halves, right? And then I cut these into halves, is going to be far more estimate than just the guess at where you think 1/8 is going to be. So when it's asking you to estimate, this is going to be the most accurate way for you to find those measurements if you're estimating. Okay, so dividing it into half and then dividing it into smaller parts from there is much more accurate. Okay, so I have a bar here. What I would like you to do is sketch 3/4 of the bar, then 1/3 on another bar, and then 5/6 on the third bar. Okay, and this is number 2 on your sheet. So pause the video. Okay, so using that technique, so hopefully what you did was cut this in half because this is 3/4, right? And then cut it in half again. And then this here would be 3/4. If I was going to do 1/3, it makes it a little trickier, but I can compare to the bar above. They would be a little bigger. And I can make them kind of sort of even, and then that would be about 1/3, right? So I'm trying to get it as accurate as possible. 5/6. Okay, so I can cut that in half, and then I have to take this part here and divide it into thirds and make them roughly even. And then this here would be 5/6. Okay, so there's a couple ways that you could do that 5/6 by dividing it in half like I did and then into 3 different parts, or dividing thirds into 2 parts. I kind of combined them both. So I cut in half and then the thirds into 2 parts there. Okay, so on your sheet now you have a little challenge. You're going to sketch 2/9 and then come back. Okay, so I have now 5/8 divided by 2/9, and I want to estimate what whole number I'm closest to. So how many times do you think a strip of 2/9 is going to fit into a strip of 5/8? So here is 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it fits in there. This is 1 times 2/9, that first bar, right? So the 1 times 2/9, there's the 1 1 2/9. Here's 2 2/9 here. Here is 3 2/9 here. And here is 4 2/9 here. Or 4 times 2/9, I should be saying. Okay, now which product is closest to 5/8? 1 2/9, 2 2/9, 3 2/9, 4 2/9. Okay, so looking, just change colors here, looking here, 3 2/9 would be the closest to 5/8, right? Because there is 5/8. And now, which whole number is 5/8 divided by 2/9 closest to? So I'm going to have you check this directly. So what I can do is I can go 5/8 divided by 2/9, and I'm going to use what I know. So I'm going to use the inverse of that fraction, and then I'm just going to multiply. So that is 45, and this is 18, or 16, whoopsies. 16, okay, and then I'm going to reduce this. So 16 and 16, so that's 30, that's 32, right? So I can go in twice, and then I'm going to subtract that 32 from 45, and that's going to give me 13 over 16. So 13 over 16. And that is more than a half, right? And it is closer to, if I think about this on a number line, that's going to be closer to 3 than it is to 2, because it's more than halfway. So the closest, remember, you need to make sure you're answering the actual question. Closest whole number is 3. So always go back, underline your question, what you're trying to answer, and make sure you've answered that question. Double check that before you move on. All right, and that's it for this lesson.